believe Rick is coming.
I think so too. I have to admit, I am concerned about Armenian this morning, but it will be what it will be, and hopefully it'll be okay. And I'm still getting the login emails, comma, right, question mark. Oh, right.
Do you need the music extension? Oh, yes, please.
Uh-oh, critical equipment that you forgot. No worries. Oh my goodness. I'm sorry, I forgot it's gotta be. I'm not 100%. So I didn't get a lot of sleep Saturday night, and then last night for some reason I couldn't sleep either. And I'm just, this morning I thought it was Tuesday, even though I knew I was gonna hear. This is like,
Oh my.
what?
There's not enough coffee in the world today, huh?
There's not enough coffee in the world. That is kind of our situation.
Thank you, guys. You're welcome. And I remembered to print it.
I did too.
Oh.
Look at
And
us.
only after last night I was like, oh, the wrong time was on there. And then this morning I looked at it, oh, the wrong date's on there.
I was just telling Frank that this morning, despite the fact that I knew that we had Yisker today, I was convinced it was Tuesday, which I know we had Yisker on Monday, but somehow things don't always work the way they should up there.
I hear you.
Are you really celebrating Her Majesty's Jubilee and that you're on London time where it is Tuesday?
That is what it is.
Oh, wait, no, it won't be Tuesday till tonight. Never
Yeah,
mind.
it's
Never
only
mind.
5 hours right now.
It's Tuesday in Japan.
All right, Frank, do you happen to remember who was here on Saturday? It was you, Stephen, Joe, Bobby, my mother, this girl named Emily, who may never come back, but she seemed very nice.
Who may never come back? But we frightened
Well,
her?
because we spent like a half an hour trying to get the live stream to work.
Oh,
and the
right.
whole-
Yeah.
Well,
Sam.
Sam. Oh, you know what I realized?
Bill is technically watching via YouTube because he sent that text message to you and me.
Yes, I got the live stream people. Sam was here for sure, and I feel like there's one more.
You guys rattle off names?
Good morning, Rick.
Good morning.
Good morning, Rick.
Not Samantha.
Hi, Samantha.
Oh, me.
I'm sorry.
Rabbi Silverman was here.
I'm sorry, I shouldn't be laughing.
No, you should absolutely be laughing. Oh boy, this is not a good situation. Good morning, Rick.
How are you, Rabbi?
Apparently not at my best, but I'm great. Thank you.
Well, my son graduated this
Woohoo!
weekend. Starts his new job today.
Graduated and starts a new job already? Very
He
nice.
graduated, he finished his MBA, he went to University of Chicago, went back for his MBA. And they said, he got hired, and they said, you gotta start on June 6th. And
Wow.
he said, where do I sign?
That's cool.
Great news.
Congratulations.
That's awesome. That's fantastic. Okay, great.
Are we going to use a second scroll today, or are we going to roll back?
So, here's the thing. I should be more confident, but I'm not at the moment.
You're not confident we're going to have a minion, we won't have a Torah reading anyway.
Well, I think what I will be able to do is summon some people to join the live stream so that at least we can do Yisker, because we should do Yisker on Yisker.
Right.
But if we don't have a minion for Torah reading, if we do have a minion and Gabri is leading, I will run down to the sanctuary and get the other Torah. Although, how far is it?
It's not very far. We're in Deuteronomy
Right.
16, we're going back to Numbers 28.
Numbers.
It's not very far.
Maybe we'll roll. It'll be fun to roll because it will mean that we get to read Torah.
And it'll give Gabri a chance to, maybe have a really cool nigun or something while we're rolling.
Sure, there you go.
Oh my
I was
God.
like, what am I preparing for? It's like, I'm done with
Something you've always wanted to do. But
Yeah, you're gonna read right now.
All right. I am realizing that we are live. So,
Oh,
Oh,
whoops.
no. As long as we don't say anything, we don't want Marty to hear. Good morning, Marty. We'll be starting in a few minutes.
Hello, Marty.
Okay.
That's right.
Hey, Marty.
We can't hear him. I can't hear him.
Right. Which, at the beginning of the pandemic, it's not the beginning of the pandemic, there's a Talmudic interpretation that if someone is standing outside the synagogue and there's a window and they can see you and you could see them, technically you can hear each other, then they can count toward a minion.
Oh.
Even if they're outside, if they're through a window, you can see and hear each other, count for a minion. So I was like, Zoom is our window.
yes, it is.
So great, if I could see people, not just have their screen off, but I could see people and I could hear them if they're unmuted, Dagenu, they can count toward a minion. The live stream is pushing the limits, but
Because they can't hear you.
well, they can hear and see me, but I can't
Yeah,
hear
they
and see
can't,
them.
yeah.
And I know who's logged in, but I don't know whether they're just logging in and walking away and
They're outside planting flowers or.
right, which is what makes it sort of it's a stretch for me. But here we are. Yes, Sunday was the Sunday. Wow. Saturday was the first time I had to count the live stream people for a minion, so hopefully after today that won't happen again anyway. And that was one of the things I said to Rachel when we talked about the live stream is like, what if we need to use them for a minion? And then it was a non-issue until Saturday. Rick, I'm excited for your Simcha.
And I don't want to cross my fingers too early on this, it looks like the relationship he's in, as Chris Berman used to say on Monday Night Football, could go all the way.
Nice. That's always a good thing for a parent to feel. You don't
We'll
always.
see. All I know is I saw something, Rabbi, in the two of them that I haven't seen in past relationship with them,
Uh-huh.
and that's comfort. As contrasted to, sizzle, this, that, excitement. How do you get to 38 years?
Right.
Comfort.
Right.
I get to 38 years this Friday.
Mazel tov.
It's been a great week.
You're just full of good news.
It's been a great week.
It's a great week.
I better hang on to this week because probably the roller coaster will start going in another direction at some
Possibly.
point. But
Possibly. But for now, let's enjoy the.
I'm enjoying it. I'm on a roll.
We are gonna start at page 61 with Matsubu whenever, Gavri's ready. He should take his time. But you can start turning in your prayer books. And Marty, we're using Sim Shalom this morning because we need the weekday liturgy. But if you have a Sim Shalom or another Siddur online at home that has the weekday liturgy, it should work out.
You said 61, right?
62.
62? Oh, I see it on 61.
61? Is that on page number now? No, 61. 61.
Great.
Jump ahead to page 105. We're going to begin in the middle of the page with the words Ha'el v'ta'atzumot uzecha. Ha'el v'ta'atzumot uzecha Agadol bichod shemecha Gimor lanetzach ve'anora v'norotecha המלך היושב על כסרי רם ונישא שוכנה מרום וקדוש שמו וכתוב על צדיקים באדוני הישן בתהילה לפי שניתן דברי צדיקים תברך ושום חסידים תברמם וכן קדושים תתקדש ונחלו בכבודך בית ישראל רינה יקר בשבילך בחוקינו בכל דור ודור שהקים כל בית מלך אדוני לנבואי אבותינו להודות אלא לשבח לפאר, רמים להדר, לברך לפריס, על כל דירי שור ונשבחות, ואבי בן ישי, עבדך משיחך. Please rise as you're able. Page 106. ישתבח שמך ועד מלכנו, האל המלך הגדול והקדוש בשמיים בארץ. ילך אדוני אלוהי אבותינו שיר ושבחה, הלל וזמרה. עוז ממשלה נצח, גדולה גבורה, תהילה ותפארת, קדושה מלכות, ברכו והודו מיטב יד עולם, ברוך אתה אדוני. אל מלך גדול בתשבחות, אל ההודעות, אדון הנפלאות, הבוקר בשיר זמרה, מלך אלוקי העולמים. You may be seated. We'll continue in 107. ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם, יוצר אור ובורא חושך, עושה שלום ובורא את הכל. And we're going to jump ahead because it's a weekday to the bottom of page 109. Hamir al-Arach, we do that silently to ourselves. And we'll join together 5 lines from the bottom of El Baruch. El Baruch, Gedoleya, Echinu Fahaz, Avechama, Tov Yatzar, Kavod Nishmo, Meorot Natan, Sivot Uzo. El Baruch Gedoleya, Echinu Fahaz, Avechama, Tov Yatzar, Kavod Nishmo, Meorot Natan, Sivot Uzo. Hino Sevav Kedoshim, Moameme Shaddai, תמיד מספרים כבוד אל קדושתו אל ברוך גדול דיה איך נפז החמה טוב יצר כבוד נשמו מאורות נתן סביבות וזו יפרח המלך לשבח מעשה ידיך ואמור שעשית יפרעו חסדה. Keep silently on page 110. Together at the square on the top of 110. Kulam him, kulam beluhim, kulam gibarim v'chulam osim, v'himal yira, retzon konam. V'chulam porchin et bihem nushav ta'ala, v'shira v'zimra, v'parchim v'shabchim, v'parim maritzim v'magishim, v'mamnichim, et shem ha'el ha'melech ha'gadol ha'gibor v'hanurav kadosh. וכולם עליהם המנוח ושמיים זה מזה ונותנים לזה לזה להגיש רצון בנחת פרועה בסף הגבורה ומילה קדושה למתחת עונים ואומרים בהירה. Kadosh, 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 Adonai Tzivot, Melko Haaretz Kivod. והאופנים וחיות הקודש ורעש גדול מן השנאת שרפים ומטעם משתבחים ואומרים ברוך ואדוני ממקומו ברוך ואימהות יתנו והכל חי וקיים וזה חדשות Together at the square in the bottom of page 110. Or Chadash al Tzion Tahir, or Chadash al Tzion Tahir, or Chadash al Tzion Tahir, or Chadash al Tzion Tahir. ונזכה כולנו מהרה ליורות, ונזכה כולנו מהרה ליורות, ברוך אתה אדוני. Yotzer We'll continue silently and then we'll join together at the square on page 111. Together at the square on page 111, we'll gather our seats here at our four corners of our talikot, of our prayer shawls. De'avihenu leshalom, de'avan kantot haaretz, v'tolichenu komiyot ve'artzenu. כי אל כל ישועתה בנו בחרת מכל עם ולשון וקרבתנו לשמך הגדול סלע באמת בהודו לך ויחדך באהבה ברוך אתה אדוני וברוכים עמו ישראל באהבה שמע ישראל Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. We'll continue silently until the end of the third paragraph of the Nida on page 113. ויסיף ונכון וקיים וישר ונאמן ורחוב וחפיד ונחמד ונעים ונורא וידי בטוח אנו טוב יפה הדבר הזה עלינו גם בעד ובוודאו הוא קיים ושמו קיים וכיסו נכון ומלכותו ואמונתו לעד קיימת ובריו חיים וקיימים Together at the diamond, or the square on the bottom of page 113. Emet shata Adonai Eloheinu le'avotenu, Malkeinu melech avotenu, Go'aleinu go'el avotenu, Yotzenu sor yeshuatenu, Kovotenu matzei lenam shemecha, Ein Elohim zulatecha, Ezrat avotenu atahu me'olam. We'll continue silently for the next square. Please rise as you're able. The third square from the bottom of page 114. Baruch V'Borach Moshe V'Yisrael Anu Shira B'Simcha Rabba V'Yamru Kulam Mi Chamocha B'Eidim Adonai Mi Chamocha Nedar B'Kodesh נהורת הילודו ספר שיר החדש שיקחו גאלים לשפע שפתיים יחד כולם הודו וניחו ואמרו אדוני ימלוך ולעם ועד סוף ישראל קומה מעזרת ישראל ובית קדומך יהודה וישראל כהנו אדוני צבאות שמו קדוש ישראל ברוך אתה אדוני God Yisrael. We're going to continue with the private Shafrei Yantav Amida on page 123b. Yaseh Shalom on the bottom of page 128. Oseh Shalom Bimromavu Yaseh Shalom Aleinu Kol Yisrael V'Imru Amen. Yaseh Shalom Shalom Aleinu V'Kol Yisrael Yaseh Shalom Shalom Aleinu V'Kol Yoshvei Tevel V'Imru Amen. We're going to continue with Hallel on page 133. Please rise as you are able. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu mitzvotav v'tzivanu likro et ha'alel. Hallelujah, 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 hallelujah. Read the first one silently together. Hallelujah. We'll join together with the words of the Seit Yisrael. Seit Yisrael mi mitzrayim Beit Yaakov me'am lo'ez Hayta Yehuda v'kosho Yisrael mamshulotav Hayam ra v'hayanos hayarden Yisok le'achor Haharim rapidu ke'elim Givaot kivneitzon Malachayam Ki kanus Hayarden Tisof le'achor Haharim Tirkidu ke'elim Givaot kivneitzon Mili fenei Adon Kuli Haaretz Mili fenei Elohai Yaakov Ahochi Hatzor Agamayim Chalamir Le'mayno Mahayim. We'll continue silently at the top of 134. Yisrael b'tach Adonai zam maginam, Beit Aharon b'chub Adonai zam maginam, Yirei Adonai b'chub Adonai zam maginam hu. Adonai zecharanu Yevarech et Beit Yisrael, Yevarech et Beit Aharon, Yevarech Yirei Adonai, Hakani im Hagedolim, Yosef Adonai Alechem. Alechem v'yavnechem, beruchim atem Adonai, oseh shamayim va'aretz, hashamayim shamayim l'Adonai, v'aretz natan l'bnei Adam, v'lavitim yehallelujah, v'lo kol yardei duma, v'anachnu nevarech ya, me'ata v'yad olam, Anachnu nevarecha, me'ata v'yad olam, hallelujah. Aha, we're top of 135. Aha, ki tishma Adonai et koli tachnunai. Et chalech b'nei Adonai be'artzot hachayim, האמנתי כי אדבר אני עניתי מאוד, אני אמרתי וחפשי כל אדם כוזב. At the bottom of page 135, Psalm 116. Mashiach Adonai, kol tagmulo hi elai, kol sishuot esah, ubeshem Adonai efra, nedachrai l'Adonai hashalem, negdana lechol hamo, yakar be'enei Adonai hamavta lecha sidav. Ana Adonai ki ani avdecha ben amahatecha pitchatcha lemosehai yainai lezcha azbach sevach todah b'shem Adonai echad nedarai l'Adonai ashalim negdana lechol hamo b'chatzot beit Adonai b'tochechi Yerushalayim. Hallelujah, hallelujah. Top of 136. Hallelujah, Adonai, kol gohim, shabchuhu, kol ha'umim, ki gavar Avinu chaso ve'emet Adonai. Yolam hallelujah, Hodul Adonai, ki le'olam chasto. Hodul Adonai ki le'olam chasto. Yomruna Yisrael, Yomruna Yisrael, ki le'olam chasto. Hodul Adonai ki le'olam chasto. Yomruna, Beit Aharon, Beit Aharon, ki le'olam chasto. Hodul Adonai ki le'olam chasto. Yomruna, Yirei Adonai, Yirei Adonai, ki le'olam chasto. Hodul Adonai ki le'olam chasto. Min hamixar karatia, Anani v'hamerchavia, Adonai li lo ira, ma yaseh li adam, Adonai li be'ozai ve'ani herye b'shonai, tov lachasot ba'adonai mirtoach ba'adam, tov lachasot ba'adonai, Mihim koach b'vi'im kogoyim sabuni v'shem Adonai ki amilam sabuni gam sabuni v'shem Adonai ki amilam sabuni ki vorim doachu ke'esh kotzim v'shem Adonai ki amilam dacho dichitani litnafol v'Adonai azarani ohuzi V'zimrat Yahvayhi Yeshua, Ozim Zimrat Yahvayhi Yeshua. Korina Yeshua. Together at the square in the bottom of page 136. Pitchuli Sharei Tzedek Avovam Odeyah. Pitchuli Sharei Tzedek Avovam Odeyah. Zeh Hashar Adonai Tzadikim Yavo. Zeh Hashar Adonai Tzadikim Yavo. 137. Ondecha ki anitani v'atili Yeshua. Odecha ki anitani v'atili Yeshua. Even masu havorim hayeta v'rosh pina. Even masu havorim hayeta v'rosh pina. Yet Adonai hayeta zot inifla mi'einenu. Yet Adonai hayeta zot כי נפלא בעינינו זה היום עשה אדוני. נגילה ונשמחה בו זה היום עשה אדוני. נגילה ונשמחה בו. אנא אדוני הושיענה. אנא אדוני הושיענה. אנא אדוני הצליחנה. אנא אדוני הצליחנה. ברוך הבא בשם אדוני, והחנוככם מבית אדוני. ברוך הבא בשם אדוני, והחנוככם מבית אדוני. אל אדוני וירא לנו, לעשות חבוטים על קרנות המזבח. אל אדוני וירא לנו, יישאו חבוטים על קרנות המזבח. אלי אתה בידיך, אלוהי ארוממך. אלי אתה בידיך, אלוהי ארוממך. הודו לאדוני כי טוב, כי לעולמך חסדו. הודו לאדוני כי טוב, כי לעולמך חסדו. ילוך חרמך ומסך וחסידך צדיקים. ילך טוב להודות בשמך נאל לזמר, כי מלמד עולם אתה אל. ברוך אתה אדוני מלך מעולם ותשבחו. What we'll do right now is we'll continue with the psalm for Monday, on page 74. This is Psalm 48. So page 74 for Psalm 48, the psalm for Monday. היום יום שני בשבת, שידור הערים רבים בבית המקדש, יד מלאני לקרוא כי זה אלוהים אלוהים עולם ועד, הוא יחנגנו על מות. We'll continue with Psalm 30 on page 81. מזמור שיר הנקבה בית דוד, למען יתרחבו לידום, בלילה אלום מודך.
So, we are trying to get a few more folks. Gabby, if you would be willing to reach out to Laura, that would be great.
Double checking.
If you know of anybody who might be able to join, I'm thinking we want to make sure we have a menu for Yisker. Please give them a minute. If not, we're going to just give us a few more minutes before we start the next piece of our worship. That we could talk about the best dairy we ate on Shavuot.
Oh, okay.
Yeah?
So, it all starts with my car ride home from work on Friday. I
Uh-huh.
called my brother up to wish him good Shabbos. He was telling me that he was making a challah bread pudding. And I was like, oh my gosh, I've got all this challah in the freezer that like really needs to like go.
Yeah.
So I made a bread. I've never made a bread pudding before. I did. And I just made a bread pudding with it. It was, oh my gosh, so good. Nowhere near the healthiest thing to eat. Just the level of milk and eggs in it, but delicious. Oh, not your traditional cheesecake. I still had cheesecake.
Good. Good. You fulfilled the mitzvah. Yes. So as you know, we had our Tikkun Leil Shavuot on Saturday night, and Justin made the most amazing blitzes. It was just craziness. And we ordered cheesecake from a pastry shop that has opened on Trumbull that I love, called Petite Sweets, and they did an amazing job. They made me little mini cheesecakes so everybody could have their own, and they were just out of this world. So I felt like my dairy game was at its best. So that was a good thing. Did you get to have dairy?
I had a lot of really good cheese at lunch yesterday.
Nice.
And since the lunch was so big, dinner was a big bowl of Raisin Royal Oak, raspberry, chocolate chip ice cream.
Oh.
What?
Oh, it was so good.
Oh. Okay, now I'm getting hungry. Rick, did you get to have any dairy in your travels?
Yes. Yes. I wound up eating dairy Greek food.
Nice.
Ooh.
So like the saganaki and
Saganaki and spinach pie
nice.
and assorted other delicacies.
Awesome. Awesome. That is the most important question of our Shavuot standard. I will tell you also, I can tell you some of the things we learned at the Tikkun. So there were a lot of sessions, which was great. I talked about the idiosyncrasies of Shavuot, including how, although we celebrate the receiving of the Torah at Sinai, the math actually doesn't work. That what we know from the text is that the text says that it was the second new moon, the third new moon after the Exodus, which means that if you get to the end of the month, that's 15 days, and then if you need 2 more, that's another 30 days-ish each, even if you count it as 28, you're much more at like 70, 75 than 50. So why do we do that? So I learned from my teacher, Rabbi Joe Klein, that part of it was an effort on the part of the priests and later the rabbis to move the 3 pilgrimage festivals from being about agriculture, because of course they corresponded perfectly with the agricultural cycle, so in the fall for the harvest of Pesach, of course you're starting to get the barley, and then going into Shavuot with the wheat and so on, that these are harvest times. But as the Israelite, the Jew people, were moving away from agriculture as their frame of reference, they still needed to get the people to take these holidays seriously. So they decided to tie them to the Exodus. So Pesach obviously is the Exodus from Egypt, and Sukkot, you have the booths that were already part of the tradition, are suddenly about the booths that the Israelites were using as they were wandering through the Sinai. And then for Shavuot, we'll count it as when we got the revelation of the Torah at Sinai. And like many idiosyncrasies and challenges in our tradition, it doesn't bother me at all that the math doesn't work, or that this was a later innovation, because that's exactly what we have to do as Jews, is continue to evolve our tradition so that it meets the needs of our time, and so that it reflects the things that are central to us. So I think it was a pretty cool innovation to figure out how to do that, and adds a whole nother layer of meaning to the Shavuot holiday, and of course inspires things like the Tikkun Leil Shavuot, which was just really a privilege to be able to learn from so many people. As I'm like having difficulty remembering what day of the week it is, it was very funny because Ruby Robinson, to his credit, did a session on burnout in Jewish communal leaders, which was amazing, including not just professional leaders, but lay leaders as well. That this has been a very difficult 2 years for everybody who's trying to work on behalf of the community, and sometimes it shows. So there was a certain amount of trying to understand the forgiveness that we have to allow ourselves, and not pretend like the last 2 years didn't happen and weren't tremendously difficult and are not done. As we think about, I will tell you this morning, 3 people couldn't come in person because they or someone in their families have COVID. And it's not over. This is still a challenge. So here we are.
How late did this study go?
Till about closer to 2, actually.
Wow.
Yeah.
Right.
Very nice.
Yeah, the last session ended around 1:30, and then people hung out a little bit.
Wow. That's
Yeah.
great. That's
Yeah, it
really
was
great.
It was great. It was great.
Did you meet any newcomers or a lot of
Yeah, we had some people, or people who haven't come in like a really long time.
That's
So
huge.
it was really cool to have people who are re-engaging. And we had folks there from Congregation Tehillah, and it was really nice to be able to celebrate with them, because in part because there's so much overlap. So that was a very good thing. have a program for the kiddos this year. We will next year, and I'm really excited about what we're planning. Some of them came over anyway just to hang out with their friends, so that was fun to have them running around. I'll tell you, sneak peek. We're gonna set up in Sarah and Josh's massive yard a camping program for families if they want.
That's a cute idea.
Right?
Oh, wow.
Right?
That's
I'm
brilliant.
super excited. I mean, I don't get to sleep anyway, so might as well have a fun time with the camping.
That's a great idea.
Yes, so I'm excited about that. All right, I'm gonna check on how we're doing. Let me know if you've heard back from Laura. We'll make a decision
she
about.
will not have internet wherever she is. I know she's not at the house because.
Okay, give me 1 minute. We could do the Nigun that you were suggesting for.
Any requests?
We'll do a 25-minute long Nigun.
That's great. Okay. Rick, I told Frank already, but I am moving, actually closer to you.
So I understand,
Yeah.
and I can't remember who I heard it from. For some reason, I heard it.
Oh. So this summer, and then hopefully it'll still be coming out here once in a while. So maybe we can carpool.
That sounds good to me.
Yeah.
So where are you moving to?
East Lansing.
Okay, and you're moving because of your wife's work.
Wife's work.
And
She's
where
in-
were you? Are you going to continue to teach, or
I just got a job with East Lansing Public Schools last week.
congratulations?
Mazel tov. Thank you. Thank you. So, house inspections tomorrow. Hopefully that goes well.
We're at 9. Of course we are.
Did you text Grace?
That's a good
You
idea.
got her? You got her?
I mean,
Okay.
yeah, we could. Ah.
Well, good for you. When do you move? When is it official?
We'll move out of our house around July 10th, and then go to England for about a month to go see Laura's family.
That's
And then
cool.
we can't move into the new house until August, so we'll put our stuff in storage. So I'll come back.
I
to
remember
England,
that drill. Yeah.
Come back and then move in a few days after coming back from England, basically.
Well, let me know if you need any help with anything.
Thank you, thank you. Yeah, we're super excited. It's bittersweet, but it's exciting.
Yeah, new chapter.
Yeah, we're right between Michigan and Grand River. That where the Ethiopian restaurant is.
I know where that is.
Yeah, so right up that road. And our house is being inspected and appraised today, the one where we live. Our first buyer had, I don't know if I told you, our first buyer backed up.
You told me the first buyer,
Yeah, and
and
then
then you
we-
had a second.
And then within a half hour, we had another buyer, which is crazy.
Right,
And so
It's wild.
there was mold in the attic, which is normal in Michigan. And so we think the buyer just panicked. The inspector he wasn't freaking out at all. And so we're getting the mold treated anyway. And then on top of that, all our air conditioner died last week. So,
Oh, no.
so that's getting replaced this week too.
You're in Oak Park, right?
Yeah, right off of 11 Mile.
Okay.
So it's crazy.
So your wife is from England?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she's been here 10, 15 years now.
Okay.
Yeah. Not because of me. I mean, I guess she stayed because I don't know. She came here for graduate school.
Everyone on the live stream, hello, and thank you for joining us. It's so wonderful to have you with us this morning. We are currently at 9 in terms of our minions, so please hang tight. We're gonna pull this out. I'm determined now. We just need one more. Similarly, if you have a friend who you think could just jump on the live stream so we can do Yisker together, please reach out to said person. Through the miracles of technology, I get an email every time someone joins the live stream, so I will know when that person joins, and we will be so excited. So just, if you have a minute, please reach out to a friend.
Jamie?
I already texted Jamie.
Rabbi, you're going to lose one by 11 o'clock.
You're leaving at 11? Oh, we're going to be done well before then. Thanks all.
I just figured I'd give you your Miranda warnings or something.
It's wonderful that you've joined us, and just hold tight, please. How early can I call my mother? That's the question. 'Cause it's an hour earlier there.
It's almost 9 o'clock there.
All right.
She should be up.
She should be
She's youthful. Right? early to call Phil. He's in Colorado.
All right. Not quite 8 o'clock, right?
Yeah, he's probably right.
I talked to my son in Chicago
Yeah.
today, but he had to be up for work.
What kind of work does he do?
Finance.
Finance.
He got his MBA, and as I was telling Rabbi, he walked Saturday, so that was nice. He walked on Saturday and starts work today.
That's crazy. That's really great. Do you ever do anything with the shuls out in Lansing?
No, I would go to, what is it? Sheriff Zedek.
Try to.
Not really.
We did it!
Okay.
My mother came to the rescue.
So where do we want to continue
So
from?
here's what I think we should do. I think we should go right into Yizkor. If people stick around and we want to go back to doing the Torah service, fabulous, but I want to make sure that at least we have a chance to do Yizkor together. Especially if Marty is joining us for that. Is that okay? Does that work?
Works for me.
Okay.
Works for everyone else. Page 190.
190. Hello again! We did it! We have 10. So we're gonna, I'm sorry, this is not exactly the mood that I should be in to move into Yizkor.
Really?
Give me a minute. In order for folks to be able to do Kaddish together, which is very important to our community and to me personally, we are going to move into our Yizkor service now. At the end of the Yizkor service, I understand some of you only have a few minutes. If you're able to stick around, great. If not, that is okay. It is a real big mitzvah to be joining us this morning, and we are grateful. So we're going to continue with Yizkor on page, you just told me,
190.
190. When Yizkor is recited, we affirm our love of those so near and dear who have physically left us. Our love, however, does not rest on physical being. It is deeper than that. When we love the inner being of the beloved, the quality that makes for uniqueness, the spirit that creates personality and character. That does not ever disappear. It remains with us as long as we live. Time eases the pain of loss, but does not erode the affection and emotions we feel for the one who no longer moves about in our midst. We know that whatever lives someday must die. That, however, is true only of the material world. The spiritual can endure forever. When we lose one who is dear, we mourn, but we must not mourn excessively. We must be grateful for what we have had and find comfort in our memories. We must continue the task of living, paying tribute to our departed by contributing to the lives of others. We continue at the top of page 192. Our generations are bound to one another as children now remember their parents. Love is as strong as death, as husbands and wives now remember their mates, as parents now remember their children. Memory softens death's pain as we now remember our brothers and sisters, grandparents, and our other relatives and friends. The death of those we now recall left gaping holes in our lives. Even so, we are grateful for the gift of their lives, strengthened by the blessings they left us and the precious memories that comfort and sustain us as we remember them this day. We take a moment to do the appropriate Yizkor for the person that we are remembering. And please rise as you are able. continue at your own pace, or we will join together with El Malei Rachamim on the bottom of page 196.
El Malei Rachamim Shachem B'Amim Amen Zamnucha Nechona Achar Kempei Hashina B'Malot Kedoshim U'Tlohim Zohar Yad Mazmirim Yishmot Kol Eleh Sheyizkarnu Hayom Livracha שהלכו לעולמים בגן עדן תהיה מנוחתם ענה באה הרחמים אז תראה בסתר כנפיך לעולמים וצרור בצרור לחיים את נשמותיהם אדוני הוא נחלתם ונתנוחו בשלום על משכבותיהם ונאמר אמן.
Continue on page 197.
מזמור לדוד, אדוני ברוך לו אחסר, בהינות אשר יברצני על מי מנוחות כנחלני. נפשי ישובב, נפשי ישובב, יבחני במלך צדק למען שמו. גם כי הלך בקצר מוות לא נראה יתם עמדי שבטך ומשענתך המן הנחמוני שבטך ומשענתך המה ינחמוני תערוך לפני שולחן, תערוך לפני שולחן, תערוך לפני שולחן, נגד צוררי, ישנת השם ראשי, ישנת השם ראשי, תשענת השם ראשי, כוסי לוויה, אך טוב החסד. ירדפוני כל ימי חיי ושבתי בבית אדוני לאורך ימים.
In a moment, I will read the list of names of those who have died in our congregation in the past 11 months and those whose yahrzeit is this week. I also then will invite you to share the name or names of those that you're thinking of as we do Yizkor together, and if you wish to say a word about that person or people. The downtown Synagogue continues to mourn the losses in the past 11 months of Lois Fishman and Nat Fishman, mother and father of Jody Fishman Rains, and grandmother and grandfather of Isla and Zoe Rains. The Honorable Avern Cohen, husband of Lois Cohen, Gerald Levine, husband of Lynn Levine, Gerald Lax, a longtime member of the congregation, Jean Sapko, mother of Jillian Sapko, grandmother of Isabella Walker, Pinchas Barak, husband of Miriam Barak, father of Lior Barak, and the Honorable Carl Levin, husband of Barbara Levin. This week we commemorate the yahrzeits of Ruth Epstein, Elaine Beatrice Lesser, Ruth Tobias, Gilbert Silverman, Jacob Mayer Resnick, Joseph Klein, Gertrude Agri Stern, Marvin Stern, and Peggy Y. Elias. Would anyone else be willing to share the name of one or more people that you're remembering as we do Yizkor this morning, and if you wish to say something about him or them? We continue with Kadisha Tov on the bottom of page 198. Yitzkadal v'yitzkadash shemei Rabbah.
Amen.
V'alma divrach yurtei v'yamlich malchutei. V'chayim chomon v'yomet chomon v'chayit v'chol beit Yisrael. V'agalat v'bizman kavi v'imu.
Amen.
Yehei shmei Rabbah mebarach le'olam olamei amayah. Yisbarach, Yishabach, Yitzba'ar, Yitzromal, V'yitnaseh. V'yitadar, V'yitaleh, V'yitalal, Shemei, V'yisha, V'yifu. La'ela min ko v'irchata v'shirata. Tushbechata v'nechamata. Ta'amiran be'alma ve'imru.
Amen.
Yehei Shlam Rabba min Shemaya v'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'imru.
Amen.
Oseh Shalom v'roma. Huya aseh Shalom. Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'al kol Yoshvei Tevel ve'imru.
Amen.
May the memories of those we have lost be an eternal blessing and inspiration. And let us say, Amen. We are going to continue with, I think we should just go to Ashrei. Ashrei on page 151. I think it's actually beautiful in our tradition to go from the notion of Yizkor and loss and memory to the feelings of Ashrei and joy. The hope is that those who we have lost, as we mourn them, also provide us with joy and inspiration in our lives. So, Ashrei, page 151.
Ashrei Yoshvei V'techa Od Yehalelucha Selah Ashrei Am Shekachalo Ashrei Am Shaddai Elohim Tehillah Le'David. You may be seated. We'll continue silently. God, my dark mother.
Yeah.
We're going to jump to the silent Musa Yanta Lamida.
join us. So we are going to continue with Kaddish Shalom on page 181, unless you want to do a little session.
Do a little session.
Let's do a little session.
Oseh shalom nimrama, uyaseh shalom aleinu, ve'akol Yisrael, ve'imru amin. Yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu, ve'akol Yisrael, yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu, ve'akol yashvei tevel v'imeru. Amen. Continue the Kaddish Shalom, page 181, full Kaddish. Elav Mikdash Me'achav, B'yamadim Rachiyotei V'amik Malchutei, V'chayei Chonu Yekonu V'chayei Lechol Beit Yisrael, V'nadav B'zman Karev v'imeru. Ishnei Rabba Mevorach, Yadam V'amei Havaya, Yiporach V'ishtabach, Yitzhar V'yikram V'tesei, V'tadar V'yitadeh V'yitalash V'yitkureshah, Ve'ela Min Kover Chadar Shatav, V'shtachav, Nechmatav, V'migram V'ama v'imeru.
Amen.
Yikabel Silton D'tohot L'chol Beit Yisrael, V'dam V'hondi V'yishmei v'imeru. Yishmam Rabba V'yishmei L'chaim Aleinu V'achol Yisrael v'imeru. Oseh shalom Yirmah Hoyaseh shalom Aleinu V'achol Yisrael V'achol yashvei tevel v'imeru. Amen. You be seated. Continue with Ein Keloheinu on page 182. Ein Keloheinu, Ein Gadolenu, Ein Kemalkeinu, Ein Kemoshienu. Mi Keloheinu, Mi Gadolenu, Mi Kemalkeinu, Mi Kemoshienu. Nodel Eloheinu, Nodel Adonenu, Nodel Kemalkeinu, Nodel Moshienu. Baruch Eloheinu, Baruch Adonenu, Baruch Malkeinu, Baruch Moshienu. Atahu Eloheinu, Atahu Adonenu, Atahu Malkeinu, Atahu Moshienu. Atahu Shekiru, Avotenu, Lefanecha K'tor Chasadim.
In a moment, we will continue with Aleinu on page 183. I want to say Chag Sameach to Chava and to Grace and to my mother and to Rachel and to Justin and to Jamie and to Craig for joining us so that we could do Isker together. I wish I could see you, but it's wonderful that you did so, and I appreciate it. And Aleinu is a moment when we think about what is on us, what is incumbent upon us as a Jewish people, and I appreciate for you taking on the mitzvah that is upon us of making a minyan so that we can worship together. So thank you, and Chag Sameach, everyone.
Please rise as you are able. 183. Aleinu l'shabeach l'adon hakol, l'atei tefillah liyotzei bereshit, shelo asaynu be'haratzot, v'lo samanu mishkafot ha'adama, shelo sam chelkenu tahem, v'gohor aleinu k'chol ha'onam, v'anachnu korim u'mishtachalim odin, Lifnei Melech Malchei HaMelachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Continue silently. We'll join together 3 lines from the bottom. Kakatuv b'toratecha Adonai imloch le'olam v'ne'emar v'haya Adonai v'melech al kol ha'aretz v'yom ha'hu yeh Adonai echad u'shemo echad.
We continue with Kaddish Tom, page 184. Yitkadash Shemei Rabbah. V'yalmad Zibrach Yerutei v'yamlich Malchutei. V'chayechon u'yomechon u'chared u'kol Beit Yisrael. V'agala u'bizman kariv v'imru.
Amen.
Yehei Shmei Rabbah Mevarach le'olam v'lomei amayat. Yisbarach v'yishabach v'yitzpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh. V'yitzhadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal Shemei v'shabrechu. Ve'ela minko birchata v'shirata. Tushbachata v'nechemata. Ta'amiran v'alma v'imru.
Amen.
Yehi shlama rabba min shamaya v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru.
Amen.
Oseh shalom v'ramav. Hu ya'aseh shalom. Aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'al kol yashvei tevel v'imru.
Amen.
Amen. and everyone who is here, thank you for being with us. We are now at the time in the liturgical calendar we get a little bit break from holidays in which we join together. So we are going to be joining, I believe, with the other conservative congregations for Tisha B'Av. But then, of course, we approach the Yamim Noraim, and so holidays, so planning is already in place for the Yamim Noraim, which is really exciting. We are going to have a Shabbat Friday night with affirmations and Shari Tzedek and the Well and Next Gen in honor of Pride Shabbat. The following two Shabbatot are our diaspora dinners. I invite you to look at the newsletter, to sign up, either to host people for Shabbat or be hosted for Shabbat. Those who have done it so far have had a wonderful time, so I highly encourage you to do so. And then stay tuned for our summer schedule. It is a real privilege and honor, and I hope I'm not jinxing us to say that Gabri's going to have the privilege of going to the United Kingdom, and I'm going to have the privilege of going to Israel. So I'm super excited. And I would be tremendously grateful for lay leaders in our community to step up, to help lead our worship, and do all of the wonderful things that Gabri and I are privileged to do while we are away. So please let me know if you are available and interested. Even if you don't know how to do it, I will teach you. Gabri will teach you. We want to make sure that this community has the leadership that it needs, and I know for many years it was lay-led. So there are no excuses, folks. We can make this happen. Are there any other congregational community announcements, good and welfare people want to share? Yes.
I have two. This Thursday night at Shari Tzedek, there's a concert featuring 3 female canons called the Shul Sisters, and I'll be performing with them.
Awesome.
And then in 2 Sundays from now, on June 19th maybe, let's say June 19th, that's a Sunday, I'm hosting a Jewish music open mic and jam session at the Berkeley Coffee in Oak Park, in 11 Mile.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
Awesome. Great. Thank you.
I keep forgetting about
You keep forgetting. In that case, thank you to all of you, particularly for those who came to be in person this morning. We're going to continue with Adon Olam, yes?
Yes.
Awesome. On page 187.
Adon Olam. What melody should we do? I don't have my guitar today. Any requests? Sorry.
Do you know that, is there one that goes to Hallelujah? Maybe that's too hard. I like the light green one.
Okay.
Adon Olam. Hashem Olam.
B'Tem Kol Yitzira. V'Nasa B'Hafsol Azay Melech Shemo Nikra. V'Acharei Kilot Hakol Le'adonim Lachara. V'Lo Haya V'Lo Hover V'Lo Yeh B'Tifara. V'Lo Echad V'Sheni Le'Hamshilo Le'Achbia Le'Reshit Le'Likachit Lo Ha'oz Le'Hamizrach Ve'lo Elim Ve'Achragolim Ve'Sorchalim Ve'Tzara Ve'lo Nisim O'Manosim Ve'Naktosim Ve'Yom Ekra Ve'Yado Af Yiruchi Ve'Tishan Ve'Ayira Ve'Imruchi Yeviati Adonai Li Ve'Elo Ira. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Chag Sameach, everyone.
Chag Sameach.
Thank you for being here.
I appreciate you coming.
Yes.
Okay. We have wine and grape juice available for us in Ledger's Hall if you want to do a little Kiddush together. If not, Chag Sameach. It's wonderful to have you here. Bye, folks.